streaming.
I'll be right there.
Okay. Episode 79, where we asked the hardest question of the week. Who's stronger, Herman Munster or Lurch Adams? Just ruminate on that for a moment. Because each show, Herman is a Frankenstein monster, but Lurch's strength never seems to be capped. He's like the Hulk. The more annoyed he gets, the stronger he gets. Where Herman is like Superman, where he's super powerful, but it's like the world is made out of cardboard for him. He's like Baby Huey. Everything he accidentally interacts with just gets destroyed.
Alright, I am live. About to crack my cat on the head if he bites me on the knee one more time.
Your cat's biting you in the knee?
Yeah, he wants attention and I won't give it to him, so he'll start chewing on me. Which I discourage him. And if he continues, he'll get thumped on the top of the head with my finger. Gotcha.
I just get whined at like by this guy. Because treats. Yeah, that's the modus operandi. They want treats.
Firing up the stream together thing.
Okay. Oh, I need more.
The invite is not.
Also, huge shout out to Ed and neighbor Julio, helping turn on and off my air conditioner and give water to the evap. It's very important. Oh, it might help if I put the right thing on. We're not playing Fallout 76. No, we're doing podcast stuff. There we go. Talk shows and podcasts. Episode 79. I forced my boss. Yeah, thank you, Ed, Julio, and Rick for helping us out with the cats. I forced my I forced my boss. Look at my thing. Look at these old cars. You like podcasts, right? Everybody does.
Alright, I sent you an invite for the shared chat.
Donka. Accept. Okay.
And chat is sharing.
Yay! Sharing. Sharing is caring.
There we go.
What's tonight's cigar?
Tonight we are enjoying a Rocky Patel vintage 1999 Connecticut Leaf Coral.
Very nice.
Mild to medium cigar with an easy draw, very consistent flavor.
Winds
So,
like to vary.
Herman Munster or Lurch? I would say, while Lurch may be physically stronger, were the two to match up against each other, I think Herman Munster would win because I don't think he can feel pain.
Good point. I hadn't put that into perspective, but yeah, you're right. I don't think he has a pain threshold. something get knocked over? I don't... Everything looks like it's wet, but I'm not smelling cat pee. This is weird. Anyway.
It's just very humid.
It is really humid in my house, but that's, well, for reasons. Yes. Oh, did we do the intro yet? Intros?
No, we didn't.
Oh. Hello and welcome to the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge. My name is Bill Kelly, Hornswoggle the Great. I am the peasant hero, lord of bridge trolls, and human trying to make a difference. Well, also with me on the council tonight, I have...
Rob Marsden, also known as Jingo the Fool. I am the game master over at the Ship of Fools. I am the King of Fools, and I am the Rock Daddy.
Nice.
And I am Rob the Blacksmith, cigar aficionado, and all-around moderate kind of guy.
Moderately neato, in the words of George Carlin. Have your children ask me how I am. I'm not unwell, thank you. And that pisses them off. They have to figure that one out for themselves. Wait, I'm not
Stupid language.
I love to throw out there when people ask me, how you doing? I say, well, I am upright and vertical.
When people ask me that at work, my response is usually, I'm getting by.
I'm getting by. My new job is kind of exciting. I'm building tasers and body cam mounts and all kinds of stuff. I get to play with a robot all day. Pretty happy about that. And in about 3 months, I've lost 40 pounds due to the poverty diet. It's always a success, never deny it. But they have an ice cream dispensing machine there at this new place. And the ice cream is free! Oh, man. There goes all my hard work. I had the salted caramel today. I couldn't resist anymore.
Oh my God.
Oh, well. Well, no, it was like... yesterday was like a Twilight Zone. I'm at the second break. It's like 2 p.m. I'm really worried about these guys. Luckily, Ed and Rick were able to turn on and off the air conditioning and the water in the evap. And all of a sudden, in the break room, I hear this noise. And I look around, and I seem to be the only one that's noticing this noise. And it's a high-pitched... And I'm like, what the fuck is... And everybody, they're all just having conversation. And I'm trying to... Finally, I do I'm not looking over my shoulder, but I look over my shoulder. And here's these two units and a bunch of what I thought were soda cans. And they kind of look like a Mr. Fusion from Back to the Future. But I didn't really pay them any mind. I didn't know what they were. The cans are filled with the ice cream flavor, and you put them in and slide it closed, and then it makes soft serve ice cream. Oh.
that is, I get a few perks at my job, but nothing like free ice cream.
I was doing good at Peckham because they had the coffee, and then they were giving fruit away every day. So I was eating fruit 3 times a day. And then my buddy at work, Mary, and I were walking around the building. So I was like, oh, cool. I'm just doing this again. But this place has, not just fruit and the ice cream, but also every kind of snack you can imagine for free. Oh, no.
They give us Gatorade packets for free, and that's about it.
Hey, at least you get that. And coffee, probably. Most places give free coffee.
They provide us with the airline coffee, so I bring my own.
It'll work. I mean, yeah, it's not.
Yeah, me and a couple of other employees went in on a Keurig machine, so we have our Keurig machine there at work.
Sappy. Your brother and sister, they're both gray. They're brother and sister from the same litter. But yeah, do you know there's not much in those curate cups?
No.
The box was left at my house, and hey, coffee grounds. So they all got cannibalized. And you just like literally pop it open, and it's just literally coffee in a filter. It's like a little. It looks just like you think it would. Yeah.
Yep.
It looks just like you think it would. But yes, I have a bunch of beautiful Serbian and Hispanic women telling me what to do all day, so that's fun. The whole place is filled with the beautiful alien melodies of another language that I don't really speak. I don't understand what you said, but that was beautiful. Oh, she was talking about the trash? Oh yeah, basura. That means trash.
Yeah, I know a few words of Spanish.
The best was
Enough to start a fight.
Yeah, really. Or I'm at Wendy's and it's like 9:30 in the morning and like most of the stuff is done. So there was a couple of moments and Tachi, my boss, and a coworker, Esmeralda, were having this full-on conversation in Spanish. I mean, like totally Spanish. And they talked for probably 3 or 4 minutes, and they both looked over, and they realized I was staring at them, just watching and listening. And I said, yeah, I don't speak much Spanish. I know that conversation was about a boyfriend and not making enough money. But I don't know whose boyfriend or how much money he's not making. Novio, dinero. I can't remember that. Not enough, but yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I have. I hear all kinds of languages at my job. I have a truly international workforce where I'm at.
Oh, I bet. The one place was doing that where I was at the Signify Health, where they're treating doctor's appointments like timeshares, because you would get somebody, no English, no English. So I've heard conversations in Creole, Mandarin, Saskatchewan, Farsi, a lot actually. Because with Spanish, we just transfer them to the Spanish line. Bye, good luck. But with the translator, I have to sit there and listen to the whole conversation. That was kind of cool. Creole is pretty much French.
French with a bit of Native American mixed in.
Pretty much. It sounds neat, but it's mostly French.
I took French in high school. I don't remember much of it except how to count in French and the months of the year in French. And I do remember that my French teacher was smoking hot.
That helps you pay attention. Yes, yeah, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. Yes, please. French, you say, sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
I don't know. No, now, thinking about that Herman Munster doesn't feel pain changes things, but...
He has been shocked, stomped, had things dropped on him. I even think he's been on fire.
He's had a car going 70 miles an hour hit him in the shins, and he didn't even move. Because there was a race going on, and his car had a problem at the finish line, and he gets out, and the other car's like I don't even remember what it was, but I remember that episode. There's only 2 seasons. There's not many episodes, comparatively to other shows.
They don't talk about the fact that they switched Marylands.
Yeah. Well, the best with Marilyn was they treated her like she was hideous. Oh, poor Marilyn. Well, I mean, hey, there was 3 Catwomen in the Batman television show, and how many Mr. Freezes? So there you go.
Did you know that Frank Sinatra wanted to be the Joker?
Yes. I don't know how that would have went. I mean,
It would not have gone well. Frank Sinatra just doesn't seem like a funny guy.
the problem is Sinatra would have played it more like a Heath Ledger Joker and not at all like a Cesar Romero insane goofball. Because we've talked about it many times. The problem with the television show is Hollywood's involved, so they made every villain the Joker. No. The Riddler sometimes laughs, but Joker is pretty much the only laughing maniac in the Gotham. And he's a dark character. He's not ho ho ha ha hee hee ha ha Wallace and Ladmo fit, He's
what Batman would be if he crossed the line. It's basically the parallel. The only difference between him and Batman is Batman won't kill.
Batman has a code. The Joker doesn't really. And The Killing Joke proved that. Oh, it's such a great comic. It's also a horrible comic. Some terrible stuff happens in between those covers. But hell, they could have had Lurch play Bane, or Ted Cassidy. Not Lurch, his name is Ted Cassidy.
It would have been a nice crossover.
It would have, but Bane didn't really exist yet in the 60s. And he's also from Argentina. And I don't know if Ted Cassidy could do a Spanish accent. He is, well, maybe he could. I don't know. We'll never know.
Now, have you watched the new, it's not technically the Addams Family, it's Wednesday? Have you?
I didn't get to see any of it when I did have access to Netflix, but I've been hearing wonderful things about it.
Their casting is spot on for Gomez. Luis Guzman was cast as Gomez.
Excellent.
And he looks like the comic strip Gomez. Exactly like he's
Yeah. John Astin and Raul Julia are too pretty to be Gomez. He should look like he looks on Scooby-Doo. He should look like he looks in the cartoon, like you said.
Well, they both brought iconic, Raul Julia channeled John Astin for that role.
Pretty much.
Role. And well, it's amazing that John Astin is still with us.
Yeah. John Astin can pull off zany in a way that not many can. He's that charismatic, whether it's on the Addams Family or on the handfuls of appearances he did in Night Court. But really, I still stand by my guns that The Frighteners, as the judge, is one of John Astin's finest performances. I mean, he's barely in it. He gets killed halfway through the movie. But he to me, that character's iconic. He was that entertaining. His lines were that good. It was just a really well-written character, and an amazing actor got to play him.
His chemistry with Yvonne DiCarlo was just spot on.
Carol Jones.
Carol Jones?
Yeah.
That's right. Yvonne DiCarlo is
Lily
Munster.
You had the right genre, just the wrong. God,
I had it backwards.
Goth goddess. Anyway. Carolyn Jones took the Betty Page haircut and just went with that wig and Betty. But yeah, they focus more on the weirdness for the Addams family because that's the main, underlying. What
Well,
is this?
yeah, with Wednesday, what they did was they created a whole community of, I guess they call them outcasts or oddities. And, of course, Wednesday goes to this outcast academy
Hmm.
where everybody there is weirdos. And she roommates with a werewolf.
All right.
A werewolf who, when she's not a werewolf, is a pink princess
Tuesday.
as a stereotype. You know, glitter and bows and pretty pink dresses.
When
And,
she's not
you
ripping
know,
people in half.
yeah,
Well,
something like that. And then there's all kinds of others. It's had a few really good cameos. In the first season, Gwendolyn Christie was the headmistress of the school. And she
Nice.
made some appearances in the second season. In the second season, we get treated to Christopher Lloyd as a head in a jar, who is also a professor at the academy,
That's awesome. What?
and Steve Buscemi as the replacement headmaster to Gwendolyn Christie.
Right on. What did you say a minute ago, Rob?
The school itself has an entire pantheon of all of the horror creatures.
Really?
So you've got,
A Gorgon, vampires, all of it.
Oh,
all of it together. So as Wednesday's roommate, she has a whole group of werewolves that she hangs out with that are a part of it, and they
awesome.
bring in the idea of the hides. So those humans that transform into the horrible hide creatures, and that is a particular theme that runs through all of the seasons because that's a recurring circumstance.
It works.
It's really well done. They bring in the members of the family, and they speak. So you get to meet the mother.
Pugsley.
Well,
Yes.
Pugsley is played very well, but Morticia's mother shows up and is a
Really?
recurring character, and they kind of speak to Lurch being something more than just a Frankenstein's monster. Lurch has some of these additional characteristics that kind of come out that maybe he's more than just this physical entity. So it's really interesting. I don't know if they're going to play on it or if that's just
Yeah,
kind
and
of a sideline.
Morticia is Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yes, Morticia is extraordinary, and
Yeah, she's gonna do great.
they
She's
they
great in
take
everything.
all of those. Well, they take all of those original tropes that came from the Addams family, from the original comic strip, as well as the first series, and they just lay into them, and they have a great time. You get to see the history and the background. How did Gomez and Morticia meet? What actually brought them together? What's the true background of Thing? So there's a lot of really great components that they flesh out, but they never walk away from the original storyline that we all grew up with and learned to just really love, and they have a good time with it. It was very, very well done. It was campy to the point that it was fun and it was exciting and you had a good time with it. It wasn't so bad that you like, I can only watch 10 minutes of this and I have to step away.
Hey, some shows are like that. That's good. I mean,
That didn't work.
I'm glad that they the Munsters movie that Rob Zombie did, everybody hated it. It's like, dude, what were you searching for from a goofy television show from the 60s? He gave you the prequel. It was good. And it wasn't the greatest movie I've ever seen. I wouldn't put it on the top 500, but I would watch it again because it was that campy and silly. It was like watching The Three Amigos. Farley, 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 Farley.
Only seen that movie once.
Three Amigos.
Yes.
Put down that he's bad and rotten and terrible and awful. I'll write down infamous. It means all those things. And then they get the telegram. Ooh, he's infamous. What is that? Well, when you're infamous, you're even more than famous. I love that movie. Oh, thank you for agreeing. It is a good movie.
Yeah, I did like it the one time I saw it.
Would you say I have a plethora of piñatas? Jefe? Oh, la guapo. I'm not as educated as you are. You use fancy words.
Them big words you get you every time.
My little buttercup. Oh my God, that part was so funny. Do you have any beer? We have tequila. Is it fattening? Martin Short's first question. Is it fattening? Fattening? But I'm glad they give a backstory on Lurch, because you don't get in the cartoon strip. He never ever talked once. It was only because they were doing a rehearsal and Ted Cassidy walked onto the set for the very first time, and in the deepest voice, and he had one of the deepest voices, he belted out, "You rang." And everybody just fell apart laughing, and that became like Lurch's "You rang." It's like, that's pretty...
I think that's pretty much the only thing he ever said, or very little else.
Besides...
So far in Wednesday, Cousin It has yet to make an appearance.
I was going to ask about Cousin It.
But Uncle Fester has shown up in both seasons.
Isn't Fred Arnst playing Uncle Fester?
Fred Armisen is playing Uncle Fester,
sorry.
and he has nailed it.
Yeah, he's going to do as well as Christopher Lloyd did in the movies.
That's why I like that they had Christopher Lloyd in this as a throwback.
As an older character, because he can't be Fester. I mean, he's 80 years old.
No, that's why he was just a head in a jar.
That's awesome. You got to have Fester. Because he's...
Oh, yeah.
You've got to have somebody that's having a crisis, but it's such a bizarre crisis that a normal person can't even relate to that. No, this is going on and I'm all upset.
Now, this Fester's more like a master manipulator. At one point, he gets caught, and he's in an insane asylum, and Gomez says, he must have something going on. Fester never gets caught unless he wants to.
So probably something was going on.
Yeah.
They really lean into his criminal past. Fester's run-ins with the law and him being even further beyond. And it ties in very well with Gomez being this incredible legal mind.
That does make sense. Because it's like, where do they make all their money? They're like filthy rich. Everybody's always trying to steal all their money.
I think what made people outcasts is they all have a special ability or something, Morticia and Wednesday are both psychic in the show. The only person that doesn't have a special ability is Gomez. And it turns out in the second season, he ended up giving it up to save somebody. I can't remember who.
Oh, wow.
But he sacrificed his own power, I believe, to save his wife.
Gomez is actually a really good person, even though he's the weirdest guy you're ever going to meet.
And they really play into his legal background in a couple of different points in the storyline. He shows up and, it's you're waiting to hear the Law and Order keys.
Dun, 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 dun.
And some of the little nods in the show were absolutely hilarious. Like there's something going on at the school, like a big function, and all of the parents are there. And so Gomez and Morticia have their pavilion tent set up. And of course, their pavilion tent looks exactly like the house in the original TV series,
That's awesome.
complete with the two spires and all of it. See,
That's
1313
awesome.
Mockingbird Lane. Is that Monsters or that
That's
was,
Monsters.
That's
Yes,
Munster.
I forget what the.
That sets
I don't
off the
think they
do
ever
do
did.
do 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 and not do do do
Bam,
do
bam,
do
bam, bam.
do. Whatever happened to Eddie? He's the kid with that house at the moon.
He grew up to be Ben Stiller.
Yeah, he did.
Now, how do a vampire and a Frankenstein's monster have a werewolf baby?
Werewolf kid. That doesn't make any sense. How is Herman even able to procreate? That makes even less sense. Shouldn't everything be, atrophied?
They talked about that in Young Frankenstein, remember?
I guess they did. Yeah. Right, now I have both of those tunes simultaneously running in my head. And that's okay, because that replaces Robbie Dupree's Hot Rod Hearts, which parts of that song's lyrics were floating around at the very edge of my conscience with no rhythm to the song or chorus, just the memory of 1980 and listening to my older sister and one of her friends sing that song one time. And then I heard it again on the radio, and it's yacht music. It's like, that Christopher Cross movement where I'm not knocking it. It's fine music. It's great. I love it. I listen to it.
There's a bar band that does the. There's a bar band that travels around. I think mostly Southern California, but they play out here once in a while, and they're called Yachtly Crew. And they dress as yacht captains and they play yacht rock.
That's awesome. Yachtly Crew. I can't wait to hear their Shout at the Devil version.
No, they don't do metal. They do yacht rock.
That's what I mean.
Cross, that kind of shit, yes.
Into the night, into night. Oh, God. Would sound like music. We're in the elevator now.
I ride like the wind to be free again. The heavy metal band Saxon does a really good cover of Christopher Cross's Ride Like the Wind. You ever listen to the lyrics? It's about an outlaw running from the law.
Yeah, you couldn't escape that song when he first put. I mean, Christopher Cross is another one of those artists that has disappeared into the 30-year gap, but you couldn't escape him on the radio in the early 80s. It was like either him or Journey or Bryan Adams or Loverboy or the Romantics, which, I mean, I like all these bands. I'm not knocking them. Or you had Corey Hart Motels, the Tubes rise and fell before anybody got to realize just how talented they were, and Ed hung out with them several times because they played Harrah's in Reno, and he was a waiter there for like forever.
They're a Phoenix band. They're from here.
But they made it huge in San Francisco. But Ed said that they would dress up in costumes and do different sets, so White Punks on Dope was just like one of their like theatrical. They had other shit that they did. They would do all different, and he said they were just the coolest music. They were just really cool guys that formed a band. That's always good it's always good to hear that famous people are still cool. You don't want them to be dicks. You want them to be. But even like John Lithgow says, everybody has their days. Sometimes there's a giant mega fan, and all they want to talk to you about how great Buckaroo Banzai was, but you're trying to get your mother-in-law onto a flight that's about to leave. Dude, let him go. You could talk to him after the woman's gone.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm still wondering how he's going to do Dumbledore.
I think he'll do great. John Lithgow is just across the board awesome. I mean, he's up there with, name some, Malkovich, Oldman, Williams. I mean, he's an excellent chameleon. He has the ability to become other people. The character he plays in Third Rock from the Sun is a way toned down version of Emilio Lizardo from Buckaroo Banzai. But in the middle is what? The Manhattan Project, Footloose. In Silent Fall, he's kind of the bad guy, even though he's a doctor and Richard Dreyfuss is a doctor, and they have two totally different methodologies of where Dreyfuss is more like House, Lithgow's more like, oh God, by the book. Like, there's no experimental medicine, and that's heresy. Total purist to the Hippocratic teachings. That's better. That's a better thing. So I think that he'll do... Now, I don't know how he's going to do with the English accent, and are we going to slip into Farquaad now and again? Some of you may die.
And it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Which... I love that kid. The ogre is in love with the princess. Laughter.
Yes.
I hope they recast.
The whole Duloc amusement park bit was just, oh my God.
It was funny. I hope they recast Snape. Dude, Snape is like the whitest white guy. Why are you trying to... There's a whole black cast that barely gets mentioned in the last movies. Shackleford has a much bigger part in the books than he does in the movies. He has way more lines. And, what's his name? Oh, crap. The kid. He's Gryffindor. He's the announcer at all of the, in the books, too. And he's one of their buddies. He's part of Dumbledore's army. He's barely in the movies. There's plenty of black representation in the Harry Potter universe that you don't need to race swap or gender swap anybody. Everybody is equally represented. If you've read the books. Not so much in the movie. Even the
Well, I had my turn with the movies.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I'll try to go back and read the books at some point. The first one I just couldn't get past.
Number
Probably
one,
because it was written at a level that is, I have no idea.
it's very juvenile. One is a hard read until 3/4 of the way in, and then we start being an adult all of a sudden, Harry. And 6 lags, and I think you don't need to create more suspense when you've already created a whole lot of suspense. And then it also gets into 6 is very potion heavy because of everything that's going on, and Slughorn is a totally different Slytherin than all of the Slytherin that you've met. And Jim Broadbent is a fantastic actor, but he doesn't even look like Slughorn from the book. They describe a Slughorn as looking like a walrus. He has a big, bushy mustache. He's a big, heavy-set, jolly man. He's a manipulator. He's a back slapper and a glad hander, and he collects the children, and then the children end up, owing him favors later.
You're the
Something
boss.
just turned off. Oh well, we'll find out in a minute. And it's just a very 6 is a very different book. It's not like the others. And then you've got Ron has spent a lot of time in the shadow. Ron in the book and Ron in the movie are two totally different Rons. And the problem is that they state early on in the book and the movie that Hermione she almost has an eidetic memory for reading. So she reads Hogwarts a history, which is written over. They give her credit for all the stuff that Ron knows in the book. Because in the movies, Hermione is this wise and intelligent character, where in the books, she's kind of unhinged. And they never even get into Hermione tries to start a movement to free the house elves of Hogwarts. And what she can't understand, most of the families don't have house elves. You have to be rich or they have to be indentured over generations. But those that belong to the Slytherin houses are treated very poorly. They don't really, most of the other houses don't own house elves because they're slaves. Most people set their house elves free, but house elves have a need to serve, and a lot of the time when they get free, or whether they're banished or whether they're saved, they run to Hogwarts because Dumbledore lets any and every house elf come and go as they please. Like Dobby leaves the Malfoys and he lives at Hogwarts for a long time, but he doesn't stay there. He goes exploring. And then he comes back and he says in the book, Dobby got freedom. Too much freedom. It was overwhelming to him. He had like closets full of clothes that he don't even fit because, dude, he's the size of a dachshund. He's not, you don't need those pants. Those are size 48s. You're not going to be able to fit in those. So the house elves at Hogwarts don't want to be liberated. They look at Hogwarts as the Elysium Fields. It's fucking heaven. All they have to do is a minimal amount of work, and nobody is constantly making them do things or abusing them. And some of the house elves are like Creature. Creature is not a nice being. He is like totally subservient to Lady Black, and she's been dead for over a decade. And he's always talking to her portrait. And all of their portraits are animated. So it talks to her. They have to keep it covered because Sirius allowed Harry and Hermione in the house. So every time she sees them, she won't stop a painting won't stop screaming. Because there's muggles in my house. So they just cover it and then she stops screaming like a bird. Because it's a painting, it's not really her.
That would be wild to live on as a painting after you're dead.
She's a real bitch. Sirius and her bicker all the time. He mostly keeps her covered. Because he devotes the black homestead to be the headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix. Because the first Order of the Phoenix is James and Lily and the Longbottoms and Hagrid, and it's the original cast. The second one is everybody that's still alive, and Harry and Hermione and more Weasleys, and, they go big. Ron and Neville Longbottom get done dirty in the movies. they're way more powerful, dynamic, and interesting, and they have so much more growth in the books, obviously, because you have more time. But you have... The prophecies are not like one long string. It's more of what you see when they're in the Ministry of Magic. It's these, like, shelves of orbs that hold pensieves, which are basically someone's memory in a bubble. And you can go and you hit the spell and put it in your mind or in that basin, cistern, whatever that and it allows you to...
Font.
Thank you. And it allows you to relive the memories. So, Trelawney, who's played by the amazing Emma Thompson in the movies, and she's a way bigger part in the books, and she's way more fucking wacky in the book, because there's more time for you to go, whoa, this bitch is weird. But then it's, whenever she and Harry are alone, there's like a chance that all of a sudden, the child of light, and she starts talking in this weird voice, but there are shelves. That's why they keep her around. They don't take tea reading seriously. They don't, all of your, like, future, predicting the future stuff, normal...
Divination.
Yeah, all the divination is not... It's a requirement, and you should know about it, but it's not a serious... That's the reason she's...
Not reliable.
No, it's not reliable at all. And even when they have the orbs with the prophecy, there's like... It's kind of like the Belgariad and the Malorian, where there's like 3 prophecies going. One that Neville is the chosen one that Harry is the chosen one that... Voldemort wins and the world is just human, muggles are slaves, and, so there's a lot more going on than just, see you next fall, Harry, Harry is like under constant lock and key. He only escapes a couple times. Because you find out later, there's a woman across the street, and she babysits Harry. And she's this weird mix of being, like, really nice to him, but also a bitch. And he can't figure her out. Then later, she's in the movie, and she's in book 5 because she's part of the... But she's a squib. She's like the caretaker, Filch. She has really powerfully magical parents, and she can't do shit for magic. She can't do a cantrip. She's got no ability. You can do it or you can't. There's really no in between with the magic world in those books. But she's a plant. Dumbledore placed her there to keep an eye on Harry and to keep an eye on how the Dursleys are treating him. Because James is a spoiled brat, Harry finds out later, because Harry gets, even in the movies, Harry gets a hold of all of Snape's memories. And Snape's really good at the mind-reading thing, but dude, Harry's just better. Harry's like Conan with fighting. Harry is pretty good at all of the different things. Some of them take him a little longer, but dude, flying on a broom like a duck to water. He sucks at divination, and it takes him a while to get the Patronus out, but that's higher level stuff, for one. And for two, dude, the kid's life sucks. I mean, he's just been lied to and treated like shit his whole life. They're nice to him in the movie, depending on how the book is. But then at one point, book 3 and on, they're afraid of him. They're terrified of him because they know that all this crazy shit is happening. Yeah. So they start being meaner to him because they're scared of him, really, on one level. And then you get all the way up to the book 7, and you have Dudley, who goes through your whole bully arc. And then he's weird in book 6, but by book 7, it's like, I'm sorry, Harry. And even the parents are like, because Petunia can't get over being jealous of Lily. She's a squib. She has no ability. Petunia can't do magic. Lily's gifted.
Were they siblings? That's Harry's relation? Okay.
The blood of Petunia protects Harry from all of the... As long as he's in the house, he's safe. But the last place he wants to be is in that house. Even so, Hagrid is on the list of being as strong as or possibly stronger than Lurch or Herman Munster. Because Hagrid barely does giant strength stuff in the movies compared to the shit he does in the books. I mean, his mom is a giant. His dad was a very enthusiastic researcher.
So Hagrid is a literal half giant. Interesting. Yeah, I will have to read the books eventually. I have to find time to read the books.
Hagrid gets very close to Harry. That's why he's like crying in the first movie when, oh, don't worry, Hagrid, this isn't goodbye. This is just see you later. You know, you'll see him again in 11 years. But he kind of, I mean, the closest thing to having a woman is when the Beauxbaton headmistress comes, because Olympia is taller than he is, and she is also an older half-giant, and he's obsessed with her. Because who better can relate to him than someone that's gone through all of his struggles? But a headmistress is not going to get involved with the Master of Keys and Grounds. He's socially beneath her. It's a Europe thing. It's not America. Go for love, dude, yeah! And he tries, and she's flattered, and I can't. I'm sorry. They have these two different jobs in two different places. It's just not meant to be. Ships that pass in the night. That and the Forbidden Forest is a way bigger thing. They're always in the forest they're not supposed to go in. And then at one point, in the movies too, they show it. What's his name? Hagrid's half-brother. Same mother, different fathers. And he's a giant. And he talks in the books. He talks like a toddler, and he's a giant. But he's much younger than Hagrid, and he does understand that Hagrid's his brother, because giants are very, very, very dumb. All the giants are like hill giants in the magic world. Like Olympia and Hagrid are geniuses of their giant community, but they don't really hang out in the giant community. They hang out in the magic community. Because, I mean, they're famous. I mean, if real giants were around in the world and you had the ability to travel to fold time and space through a chimney. So, I'm in Brazil now, but... Diagon Alley! How's it going? Holy crap, it's Hagrid! That's what it would be like. Because, I mean, they don't have... Like, Gilderoy Lockhart and Dumbledore are the closest thing they have to celebrity. Oh, Ludo Bagman. I would say Ludo Bagman is a celebrity too, because he's a main fucking character in book 4. He's the one that steals Godric Gryffindor's sword. He's the MC of the World Cup. He's involved in everything from the beginning of the book to the end. Totally left out of the movie. They don't even mention him. Dude, I know he's like a Joe Namath or an O.J. Simpson or a Terry Starbuck or Or Terry Bradshaw, excuse me. Wrong. Oops. Football guys are going to gross me for that. Sorry. Not. You know how the really talented athletes become celebrities after their glory days are over and they're on the injured list and they can't perform. So I think he was a keeper, which is like being a goalie. And he was like the shit. He was the best of the best. And then he didn't play Quidditch anymore. And he is like the announcer for all of the Quidditch games. That's like the closest thing they have to like soccer, or football.
Wayne Gretzky.
Okay. I should have said that in the beginning then. Sorry.
The greatest of all time.
So there's that with any book to a series, there's always a lot more going on because they probably filmed it all and then editing and producers and Hollywood. No. They're not going to understand that. Oh, the devout fans will understand. Nah, they don't care. They're going to be mad. We'll give it to the extras. We'll sell them another DVD.
Yeah, like Jackson's Tolkien interpretations. It is its own version. You have to accept that, the movie canon isn't going to be the book. The book was so much deeper,
I quote you, it would take 75 hours to do all three movies because there's so much fucking singing and all the...
Yes, we'd still be watching the first episode today.
And Glenn Yarbrough, is he dead? Because he did all for The Hobbit and the Return of the King animated. Oh, where are you going? He's like the king of vibrato. I'm not knocking him. The dude's got a great voice. But, I mean, it's like, yeah, he died 2016. Wow, he was born in 1930. Folk singer Glenn Yarbrough was born January 12th. He was a Capricorn. 1930. They are artists. His voice was his art. Surprised he wasn't a Taurus because he had such a commanding voice. Anyway. Yes! Glenn Yarbrough. Singer. Folk songwriter. 75 hours of Tolkien. Well, they're doing the Rings of Power again. I thought...
Well, they're continuing to do the Rings of Power. But really, I watched part of the first season, and it was okay, but really they're pulling a story where there really wasn't a whole story to be told. I mean...
Hey, man, make an awesome video on YouTube. There's a lot of them. I'll watch yours. I watch theirs. Oluvatario, or whatever the hell his name is, starts singing, and all of a sudden everything just became. Yeah, we've never had that before.
Pretty much everything that happens in the first book of the Silmarillion mirrors the book of Genesis.
And Frodo begot Sodo, and Sodo held Foppo. Bag End was filled with people with hair on their feet.
Do you watch epic rap battles of history?
I've watched several of them, yes. The one with Weird Al Yankovic was hilarious.
He was Sir Isaac Newton, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah. I think he's been a couple. Wouldn't you want him to play a bunch of people?
Oh, yes.
I do.
Al Yankovic is one of the most underrated rappers in the world.
I stand by what I said to his, well, first the back of his head, then the side of his head, then he turned around and actually looked at me. Any person, genius, can write an epic level song in their own genre. But it takes a true epic genius to be able to play every genre and make up all your own lyrics. And it was Hannah and Shane and I, and they're standing behind him, and they're like, Weird Al. And I'm like, trying to think of stuff to say that's not, man, I've been listening to you since another one rides the bus. Yeah, you've heard that all night. And it's 3 a.m. And the guys behind us are super drunk, and you can still hear them yelling, Al! And they're at the back of the line. So he just kind of like was in the middle of signing, and he stopped, and he gave me this, just like, I think he wasn't expecting me to say that, because, I look like a homeless caveman. I got that. That's kind of I don't mind appearing like that. I love it when I surprise people like this scenario. And he just kind of nodded, and his eyebrows went up. Well, thank you. And I said, dude, my father, her grandfather, the accordion was one of the first live instruments I ever heard when I was a toddler. Because when
I said, it still blows my mind that you know not one, but 2
accordion players. Christine's like, only you and old, creepy men want to hear me play the accordion and are impressed with the fact that I play the accordion. Like, oh my God. That, And I'm like, you do know why, right? Because you can move your hands up and in and out and up and down and get the fingers going. Oh my God, you're disgusting! Yeah, so are all those old men that couldn't stop talking to you. Yeah! Sorry. But yeah, accordion. And then you go to Ren Fair. Now I know 4 more accordion players. But they weren't in my circle from, they're in the Ren Fair circle, which is awesome. But I only hang out with those people on the weekends 2 months a year, and you know them, but you don't know them. I follow you on Facebook, and I love you. What's my favorite color? I have no idea. Zinc? Wooden? Wooden can be a color, right?
What's your favorite color? Round.
Round. I like round. It's quite nice, round. No, color. Oh, right. Shoot. Oh, speaking of which, John Lithgow is the main villain in the Santa Claus movie with Dudley Moore.
The Santa Claus movie.
No longer with us. The Santa Claus movie. What's his name plays Santa Claus? The guy from Blazing Saddles. Oh, horse shit. Oh, prairie shit. That's what he says.
Oh. I'm only drawing a blank.
I think he plays the mayor. The Santa Claus
Johnson.
They're all named Johnson. Remember when the dicks tried to come in here and take over? Fought locusts, fought drought, fought plagues, fought dicks. Remember when the dicks came in there? Arthur Dick and all his family came in there. I love I like the fact that the Canadians have kept the last name Dick jokes going with Letterkenny. Because they have the Amish family that have a farm near their farm, and they're the Dicks.
Every once in a while, just out of the blue, I'll send my wife a Dick Van Patten or a Dick Clark or a Dick Van Dyke picture with the caption, random dick pic.
Random dick pic. That's funny. Yeah. That is convenient. Dick Van Dyke. Eddie Izzard said it best. He used an English accent. He went all the way to Australia to learn it. I'm a chimney sweep. My father's a chimney sweep too. It's an Australian accent. It really is. I'm not gonna lie.
Up where the smoke is all billowed and curled, between pavement and stars is a chimney sweep's world, where there's hardly no day and hardly no night, as things half in shadow, halfway in light. On the rooftops of London, cool, what a sight.
All right, we've now discussed Mary Poppins. So the meme on Facebook, and I got, the evidence is there. If it was not a huge influence, Mary seems to be from the Muggle world. I mean, the magic world in the Muggle world, where she can affect the weather. She can fold time and space with her carpet bag. Her umbrella is an animated object that has an intelligence.
And allows her to fly.
She can step sideways into pocket dimensions when they go into the chalk drawings.
A fan theory for you. Mary Poppins and it are the same species.
I saw that one too. Hold on, let's get to that one for a second.
It feeds on fear. Mary Poppins feeds on joy.
This is true. She is the counterbalance.
She's the one that comes in and makes the kids' lives, less rigid and stifled because their dad's a dickwad. Well-meaning dickwad, but nonetheless.
He's another form over function bureaucrat. Luckily, he's savable and is redeemed by the end of the film. But even so, laughter causes levitation when Mary's around. Then again, maybe Uncle Albert is also of the magic world. Because that's what Ed Wynn is already floating when we get, oh no, Uncle Albert's having a trouble. And they go there and he's at the top of the ceiling giggling like a buffoon. That means you have 364 unbirthdays. A very merry unbirthday to me. So, she might possibly be the same species or a
variation on the species.
A mutation?
Maybe they're all individual entities. Maybe they're semi-deific. The original It story talked about, he was extraterrestrial. Maybe an extraterrestrial that was also extra-dimensional.
From what I've been told of the story, and watching the one with Harry Anderson back in the day, it's kind of an interdimensional being.
But I believe in the remake, the Bill Skarsgård version, they painted as being of extraterrestrial origin, not extra-dimensional.
I like the story of Bill. He was playing It, and he and one of the kids were doing a scene, and the kid's crying was so convincing. He was like, "Oh my God, are you all right?" And the kid's like, "Yes, I'm fine. Don't stop." Oh, I'm sorry.
He was like,
"You got me, dude."
The kids, and he was like, "Is it too much?" They're like, "No, keep going. We love it."
Yeah, that's what happened. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't stop. You get in the zone. You're in there. Whether you're music or whatever. But I think that Mary Poppins is probably of the magical community, and that would make sense because I
think she may be a minor deity.
She might be, but I think that she's
Q with a conscience.
Q with a conscience. I think she's an operative of the Ministry of Magic Muggle Artifacts division, where Arthur works. She has a lot of stuff she shouldn't, and she can do a lot of stuff that...
Maybe she's an outlaw. Maybe she's opposed to the Ministry of Magic and does what she does because it's what she does. It's why she keeps moving. She shows up just long enough to set something straight, and before the Ministry of Magic can get on her, she whisks away on her umbrella.
That makes a lot of sense because it's what Hagrid says at the very beginning of the first movie. Listen to me now, Harry, and understand this. Not every wizard is good. Some of them are very, very bad. And you get all of that in the book. Some of them are super awesome. Some of them are not. They're just like normal people. Some of them are really fucked up. Some of them... The Malfoys are assholes. They get a redemption arc through the whole 7 books. And even Draco realizes that's why they're all friendly by the end of the 7th book. Because, I'm sorry, you don't need to apologize. You were doing what you were programmed to do. It's just better that you broke out of it.
Now, as for Mary Poppins, a couple of the things that make me believe she's a deity. She was able to hop her and Bert and the kids into the sidewalk paintings. She was also somehow able to reassemble the letter that Father ripped up and burned in the fireplace. It was reassembled and in her hands when she showed up, right after she blew away all the other nannies.
My favorite part of that movie is the crazy old captain that lives next door and fires the cannon, and his house is a ship. It's almost 11, sir. 11! Fire the cannon! Fire the cannon!
No!
They grab
I
everything.
would love a neighbor like that.
Okay. Maybe she is a god. Well, then it's Nanny McPhee. She's also probably of the magic community.
I have not seen that movie, but I understand that her magic works more on the children than on the parents, because
Yes.
that's Mary Poppins' real magic was basically softening up their dad eventually.
Nanny McPhee, oh God, there's many children. And mom dies and wants dad to marry a woman that'll love all the children. He ends up marrying this horrible lady that hates the children, and Nanny McPhee appears. And at first, Nanny McPhee is kind of hideous. She has all these things going on with her face and body that make her unattractive. And like you said, the kids are really the source of the magic, not her. She's able to do stuff, but only around the children.
I'm saying we keep cutting out.
Are you able to join us on the bus?
I am not showing that I have dropped any frames, so I don't know why he is saying we're cutting out.
Oh, I don't know. It says it. I hope not. Sorry, Clay.
I don't know how OBS works, but I'm sure with my software right across the top, it's constantly showing me, the frame rate, and if I get frames dropped, it'll tell me that I've dropped frames.
Let me close a bunch of superfluous.
But yes, well, we started with Lurch and Herman Munster. There are some other supernatural TV sitcom comparisons that we could make. Jeannie and Samantha from Bewitched. Jeannie, I believe, is more powerful in that she can grant wishes. She can do just about anything. But because she's a genie, she can only grant other people's wishes. She cannot just do things.
Yeah.
Somebody has to wish for it for her to make it
Yeah,
happen.
the Robin Williams genie took a lot of liberties that would have never happened in a D&D campaign. You would have to really charm the shit out of that genie. I mean, Aladdin's got charisma, but it would have to be off the scale. I mean,
He's got loaded dice.
uh,
Aladdin has loaded dice. He just keeps rolling 20s.
He controlled the lamp. The genie didn't have a choice.
true. Up
Because when
until
Jafar
Jafar
got the lamp, yeah.
But Samantha goes into the realm of the magic community, but for the Americas, and they don't really have any like wacky Europe. Well, I shouldn't say that. I liked Bewitched, but I don't have a lot of it memorized like I do
Yes.
other shows.
Now, they were all witches, which means their magic, according to that universe, was innate. It was something you could just do because you were born doing it, as evidenced by Tabitha doing it when she was young. There was an episode at one point where Esmeralda went back in time and manipulated events into the past to make Darren a witch. And so in modern day, Darren all of a sudden had powers and hilarity ensues. But yeah, they had a lot of cool witches there. They had Samantha and her sister, Serena, the dark-haired one. You had Esmeralda.
Yeah.
You had Dr. Bombay and Uncle Arthur. Uncle Arthur was the best.
He was.
I always loved it when Uncle Paul Lind. When Uncle Arthur showed up, yeah, he always stole the show. He always stole the scenes.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
she had an aunt?
Oh yeah, there was the crazy old aunt.
And
I
she
forget.
was always, things were always not quite right when she would do her magic.
Yeah, her magic was wacky.
I love the Sabrina the Teenage Witch because you have the trifecta of hotness with Melissa Joan Hart and Carolyn Ray and
Talking the original series.
yeah. Now I haven't seen the new one, and I heard the new one is
The
super dark.
New one is super dark.
But we're going to talk about Melissa Joan Hart for a while. Because she's easy on the eyes, and she never got enough parts. But she kind of got typecast. It sucks, but well, it happens.
She got Russell Johnson.
She did.
Yes.
Gabby Johnson's right.
Yes.
Oh, side roaded trigger croaker is.
For those of you who don't know who Russell Johnson is, he was the professor on Gilligan's Island. And he said because of that role, he wasn't able to get any roles after that because he was the professor.
Yep.
And I think a lot of iconic actors in sitcom roles, hit the same wall. And then
Yeah.
how many people from Gilligan's Island had careers before or after Gilligan's Island? I can think of two. Bob Denver,
Bob Denver.
who
And
had TV shows before and afterwards, and Jim Backus, who was Mr. Frickin' Magoo.
oh, yeah. Jim Backus in his career is regarded the way Robin Williams is regarded. To have him on set, Jim Backus is described as just so warm and gracious and such. He's just described as this awesome character who was optimistic and positive about everybody and funny, and everybody wanted to hang out with him. And that's the way people describe Robin Williams on set. I mean, before he retires to, having too much people. But Jim Backus was, he already had a career before Gilligan's Island.
And he had a career afterwards as well.
As
I remember
Magoo.
seeing him cameo on, or not cameo, but guest star on Charlie's Angels, among other things. He was one of the, well, everybody was on the Love Boat. Everybody
Fantasy Island.
was on the Love Boat. Everybody
Just
went to
come-
Fantasy Island.
Just come to the island to find out how. It's great. Welcome to Fantasy Island. I had to suffer through Love Boat to watch that. Okay, Love Boat. Here we go.
The Love Boat.
Boat. Soon we'll be making another run. Why?
You remember that before it was a TV show, it was a movie?
I heard that, but I never saw it.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
In the movie, the boat was the Sun Princess. In the TV show, it was the Pacific Princess. And it had a different cast. The movie had a different cast, I'm pretty sure.
In the universe of the Love Boat, Isaac is the Flash.
Yeah.
Because
he's everywhere.
he is bartending, or he is able to create energy-based multiples of himself that he can become, like Ultron. He can just become that robot, that entity, when he needs to, and then go back to where he's needed. But having him as the Flash really defeats the Gopher's job. Why not just have Isaac do it? He could literally get back with what you need, because that's Gopher's job, is to be a gopher. There's another actor that got typecast. Dude was a Rhodes Scholar, just like Gina Davis, but remembered forever as Gopher.
He went on to serve in Congress. Craig Brandy?
Yes, that also happened, so he had no time to be in movies and shows.
But my favorite character from the Love Boat was the Doctor, played by Bernie Koppel, who showed up as a Nazi on Hogan's Heroes more than once.
Yeah. He was a good actor. He had all the funniest lines, and he got, well, I mean, the Love Boat was just, it's a chick show. Sorry. Love Boat, a show about people going on a cruise, and either they're already in a relationship or they're single, and they're hooking up with people on the cruise. Nothing's changed in 40 years, folks, I'm telling you. Nothing has changed.
Nope.
We still have...
The Love Boat was a weekly vehicle for, ABC to trot out all of its old stars that it probably still had under contract.
Yep. And they did guest appearance, and they played either normal people or wacky characters that caused a lot of drama and issues, and were dating and humping, and I told you, it's like a... But then Fantasy Island came, and Fantasy Island was cool, because it gave you voluntary Twilight Zone. Come to this island, where I will give you your nightmares and your dreams, all at... Wait, what was that first part? What? That
where
first
you will
part,
learn there will be a moral lesson to everything you do.
You will realize how good your life is before you left. Wait, what? No, I don't want to be a dishwasher anymore. I want to be a rock star. That's why I'm going to Fantasy Island. If you become a rock star, you will be found dead in a ditch. Dishwashing it is. Well, am I wrong? I mean, that's literally most of the episodes
But
have
this
been.
is back when Saturday night used to primetime program television.
Yeah.
When, now anymore, nope.
TV, the weirdest thing ever is being alive in the 70s and the 80s and being alive in 2026, and how drastically different the medium of visual entertainment is, dear viewers. Like and subscribe, 100% pure barf. You heard it here first, folks. Stay geeky. Now we have reverted back to the early 50s of constant commercials and things like that, and sponsorship, and where that wasn't really given till the end of a newscast or a special broadcast or brought to you by Johnson & Johnson and the people at Alpo.
They'd have a commercial at the beginning and a commercial at the end.
Yeah, because television was set down for 6.5 minutes of programming and 2.5 minutes of commercials. And I know this because my father worked at Channel 12 of the local NBC affiliate for 37 years. He met Weird Al Yankovic twice and didn't realize who it was until he was home with us. Oh, I said hello to that guy today. Ah! Well, he was in the green room waiting to go on the stage. I went in to get water. I said, oh, hello. And then I left. That's totally my dad. How's it going? Oh, human, I gotta get the hell out of here. Meanwhile, people react to him the way the doctor reacts to Ron Swanson. That was the greatest patient I've ever had. He didn't ask me one question. No, he wanted to get the hell out of there. This is a major inconvenience for him. But then, pay-per-view came by on TV. Spotlight, Cinemax, Showtime, HBO, all the horrible body odor you remember. And then the Playboy Channel. Things got good. But in between that, pay-per-view came as a very powerful medium. But now everything is pay-per-view. Spotlight, shine bright, day and night. Yeah, I watched it a lot. We light up the stars for you. Hope you like that, Captain. There you go.
Yes, we had On TV. On TV was the first version of cable that I remember. I remember you had to have a special antenna, and it had to point towards South Mountain, and it only came on at 9 o'clock at night on Channel 45, where it usurped the UHF channel that was there.
Because back then, 45 was snow. There was...
So I remember 45, when it first started broadcasting, they do their traffic reports in the afternoon with Elroy Buzz Towers. And while they were doing the traffic report, they'd show a video of a toy helicopter with its rotors spinning.
UPN 45 is really important in history for comedy. And a lot of Ben Stiller had the Ben Stiller show on UPN 45. And it was him and Janine Garofalo and a bunch of other people.
I remember that.
And dude, some of the bits were really funny. And he does a spot on Tom Cruise impersonation, and he did that like every week in the show, or he would have Tom Cruise playing different characters, or he would make fun of 90210, and he would, you know.
I remember he did a special once, and one of the things I saw him do, it was a Ben Stiller special. I believe it aired on MTV, and he did some skits. Well, he did a skit about whatever happened to Eddie Munster. That's why I say Ben Stiller grew up to be Eddie Munster, because he looks like him.
Kind of.
And there was another one about they did one about Bono and doing commercial endorsements, because he was dressed up as Bono, and I remember singing, "One bowl is all that it takes, one bowl of those frosted flakes."
One of my favorite bits, and he only did it once, was Cops was extremely popular. So he did Cops in like 1490, like during the Salem witch trials, and he's dressed as a pilgrim, and they're going through, they're chasing people through the trees and stuff. I'm not a witch, she's a witch. It was funny. Today's my kid, but he's dressed as a pilgrim, but he's got the highway patrol mustache and the yellow modern glasses. And they play the Cops theme, but it's acoustic. And today's my kid's birthday, Really? That's terrible. Yeah, I know. Gotta be out of here doing this. And also, the Tracy Ullman show was on UPN in the mid to late 80s. And without Tracy, there'd be no Simpsons. Because The Simpsons...
she gave Matt Groening the license to invent The Simpsons.
The Simpsons were born in between her sketch comedy bits.
Yep, and they were an extension of his This Modern Life comic strip.
And well, he had...
They had...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was going to say he had access to talent like Castellaneta and Julie Carpenter, because they're the first, and Lisa Yeardley was on the show too. Before Herman's Head.
I remember that.
That was a neat concept, but I don't know what happened to the show, why it didn't succeed.
I remember.
It was up there.
Yeah, that was the early Fox Network stuff, wasn't it?
I think so. Oh, it might have been. I might be wrong. It might be all
I
Fox.
think Tracy Ullman was Fox. That's why The Simpsons.
Excuse me, I might be wrong. I probably am. I'm wrong all the time. Who gives a shit?
Nobody's grading here. This isn't school.
No one cares.
But one of my favorite early Fox shows was Parker Lewis Can't Lose. It was basically you took the formula from Ferris Bueller's Day Off and made it into a TV show of sorts.
Yeah, but turned it into a cartoon.
More or less.
It
was very cartoony.
I only saw the one episode, and I really liked it, and it survives in Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, because it's a 7th, 8th grade version of Parker Lewis Can't Lose.
I remember one of my favorite Parker Lewis Can't Lose moments is when Parker's buddy decides he's going to be a rock star and he takes up the guitar. And at one point, they break the fourth wall a lot in the show. At one point, Parker Lewis turns to the camera and he says, "Man, he set rock and roll back farther than Ozzy Osbourne." And then Ozzy Osbourne shows up and says, "Oh, you don't have to bite my head off."
I love comedy that can laugh at itself.
And Ozzy was severely goofy. He loved it.
Oh, he was a goofball. But what was another? I don't think there's any other magic characters in shows.
There are a few.
Marky Post's character in Night Court. That's about it.
There was Uncle Martin from My Favorite Martian. Well, technically, it could be psychic abilities, it could be whatever, but he had magic powers. He could levitate things. I don't know if he ever did anything else. Maybe some psychic things with the TV antennas that came out of the back of his head. Do you remember that?
I gotta waiting for Rob to get back on. I gotta turn off my AC unit and throw some water in the evap. I can hear it grinding from here.
Why don't you? You don't have an intermission screen, do you?
Nah, not really. I don't need that. Besides, then you miss cat activity. I'm trying to think of another.
Well, I don't want your swamp clover to grind up, so if you need to go tend to it, you can go tend to it.
What's another? The Green Acres show is filled with wacky characters. And the Ziffel family, I think, is from another show, and they're also in Green Acres.
Yes, Petticoat Junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Pretty sure. Yes.
You guys can ruminate about that while I go do shit.
Because Petticoat Junction, the Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres, and I think there were some other ones that were all kind of tied together into that same timeline.
Yeah, there were some feeds that went back and forth. Maybe not necessarily direct ties, but even Andy Griffith had some of those characters pop through.
Yes, Andy Griffith, and then after Andy left the show, they made Mayberry RFD, which was basically Andy Griffith without Andy Griffith.
Yeah. But there was a TV show that I remember. I couldn't tell you who were the main actors, but it was a modern telling of the Merlin story where Merlin was running a garage, and a kid shows up and pulls the magic crowbar out of the bucket instead of the sword from the stone.
I
And
do not remember that.
he became the apprentice to Merlin in the modern day. And I don't know that it lasted for more than maybe 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm doing a Google thing for it, but
It was a very interesting program, to say the least.
and it was from the 60s or the 70s.
Well, I want to say it was probably from the very early 80s.
Well, that's not helping.
Looks like it was called Mr. Merlin.
Mr. Murray. Then this was during the time when I was really into D&D and rock and roll and marijuana and beer and didn't spend a lot of time paying attention to television.
It was a very interesting show because, let's see here, the gentleman who played Merlin had done many. Bernard Hughes was Max Merlin, and he's always been the grandfather and the.
Oh yeah, I've seen. He's one of those. He's one of those. That guy.
Yeah,
That guy that you've seen in a lot of things.
very powerful character actor. It wasn't a bad program, but it certainly was. It certainly was a product of the '80s, the early '80s.
Yeah, it looks like it only got one season. I'm trying to think of other magic TV show characters. I guess superheroes don't really count. But now I'm going to have to look it up and see. You know, it might be on YouTube. A lot of old TV shows are.
Yeah,
Hell, I was surprised to find out that full-length versions of A Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More and The Good and Bad and the Ugly are all on YouTube.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing to see some of those films that pop up there, and a lot of the straight-to-video stuff is from the early to the mid '80s is showing up there as well.
Yeah, straight to video. Disney's where Disney lives. Let's make a good movie, then let's put out 3 straight to video sequels that, some of them are good, some of them not so much. Bill, do you remember? Connect.
Okay.
Do you remember a TV show called Mr. Merlin?
Mr. Merlin? Yes.
Where he was basically a mechanic in a garage, but he was Merlin?
I don't remember seeing it, but I know that it exists. Sorry, all I'm getting is David Rappaport and the Wizard.
Now it's one that I remembered from it found out, I guess it was 81, 82, and the pilot shows a young man coming to a garage in San Francisco, and the mechanic, the kid is there, and I don't remember if the kid was there for a job or if the kid just stumbled in, And the mechanic asks him, say, hey, go bring me a crowbar. And the kid walks out, and there's a crowbar in a big bucket of cement.
Uh-oh.
And the kid walks and picks up the crowbar out of the bucket of cement and hands it to the guy. He calls out from underneath the van. He goes, oh, no.
No, not again. That's funny.
So the kid becomes his apprentice, and he's teaching him all about that. So it's the Sorcerer's Apprentice, modern day, 8081, in San Francisco. And one of the episodes that really stood out in my mind was the kid wants to, because this is the middle of the custom van craze. So the kid wants to make a custom van. And so he starts using his magic to customize this beat up old van. And, you know, it shows you all of his failures as he's going through. Geez, I want to take this fabric and I want to cover the front of the dashboard of the van with it. And he does his magic spell, and the entire front of the van is covered in this. So he's got to go through and he fine-tunes his craft through that episode as he's learning to do each of these spells in a smaller venue.
That's too funny. No, I remember, well, lots of shows and movies from the 80s, and I had to look a lot of them up to prove I wasn't crazy. But they do exist.
I have a big gap of it shows in the 80s from like mid 84 to late 87. I was in another country. Then there's movies, music, TV shows I've never heard of. And I still get hit with them. Hey, what do you remember this? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Do you remember this? What year was it? 90 this. I was working, so I know that it happened. Did you see it? No. I missed it. Like so many other things. Why didn't you see it? Because I was at work and there wasn't time to, you know.
It was like me for a lot of years. I worked at a radio station in the evenings, so TV wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Well, it was there. I just didn't have access to it. I mean, I could have.
When I had it on, it usually had an Xbox hooked up to it.
Super Nintendo. One more game. No. Just one more.
Thought about superheroes as supernatural, but that's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
That goes beyond.
Because there are characters that are on the borderline of being magic, but then there's just really eccentric characters that...
there are some oddballs out there.
And that's great writing and great performing. And...
That's a sign of fame by an actor is, being not the main character in a sitcom, but being remembered for that sitcom.
Yeah.
I forget the actor's name. He was J.F. Sebastian in Blade Runner, but he was Daryl, or Larry. He was Larry with his brother Daryl and his other brother Daryl. Yes. And,
oh God, what's his name?
Still see his face.
Oh yeah.
But he was iconic. Or like Jaleel White, who in the first season of, was it Family Matters? He was barely there. He wasn't even a major character, and then
he was an
kind
annoying,
of stole the show, and then kind of became the main character. And I tried to watch that show. I couldn't.
Basically nerdy black Dennis the Menace, where he doesn't come in to do malicious intent at all, but he creates a series of unfortunate events that spiral into disaster. And that's what made the character endearing. Did I do that? And because that's from the beginning.
Yeah, like I said, it was really one that I tried to get into it. I just couldn't. I think it was just a product of the time. At the time, I was not very interested in television.
That happens too.
Like now, I can't tell you the last time we had our actual television on. When we watch TV, we usually watch it on one of our computers now.
The actor who played JF Oh, he's not on the. That's weird. It's in everything. Why is he not listed here? Good evening, JF. William Sanderson
Yes.
is the actor's name. And you're right, he's been in everything. He's in Blade Runner, True Blood, Last Man Standing, Deadwood. He's been in 135 movies. In modern Hollywood, that's impressive. And he has that. His voice is very unique.
He has that accent. Of course, I don't know if that is his natural accent or if it's just a character he falls into. I don't know. But that was Newhart, being the type of show it was, taking place in a hotel, opened it up to having all kinds of guest stars. And
Wow.
it's one of those shows where everybody rolled through.
This is how big William Sanderson is, but nobody talks about him. Knight Rider, 82, one episode. Blade Runner, before Blade Runner, Brett Maverick, one episode. Quincy M.E., one episode. For those of you who don't know, Quincy was kind of one of your forerunners of the forensic pathologist becomes a detective and solves crime. Because that's not what the coroner does. He just, he died of this. How do you know? Because of this and this and this and this and this, and that kills them.
Quincy was a coroner, but he was also a crime fighter.
That was a great show. I'm not knocking the show. Jack Klugman, it was good. I mean, I loved it. I watched it all the time.
So did I.
I have to say the cop show that I watched the most growing up would be Barney Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Because Barney Miller was both a detective police show and it was a comedy, so it was just fucking hilarious. And the cast was stellar.
Yeah, it was. Hal Linden?
Hal
Steve
Linden.
Landesberg. Whatever happened to
Jack
Steve
Sue.
Landesberg? Jack Sue.
He was, I think that he does...
Because he kind of disappeared after that. I don't ever remember seeing him show up after that.
The guy that played Dietrich.
Lieutenant Dietrich, yes.
That could do the Gregory Peck voice. Because the guy who plays Wojciechowicz was in a bunch of stuff. Oh, hold on, there's knocking at my window.
Fairies knock at the window, Bill. Don't open it. I'm all alone now. Whatever shall I do about it? Meanwhile, while I am here by myself, I don't even know if anybody's watching. Let's hope the fairies haven't taken Bill. He should have put iron dust around his windows and maybe burn some sage. I mean, who knocks on a window? A window. Even the cats have abandoned me. Bill, your cats are supposed to be entertaining me. Where are they? Unfortunately, my cat is not nearly as entertaining. He just likes to be petted all the time. All right. If Bill's not coming back, it's time for dad jokes. After an unsuccessful harvest, why did the farmer decide to try a career in music? Because he had a ton of sick beets. I only seem to get sick on weekdays. I must have a weekend immune system. My friend was showing me his tool shed the other day and pointed to a ladder, and he said, "That's my step ladder." I never knew my real ladder. I don't get why Marvel doesn't use the Hulk to advertise more. He's basically one big banner.
Okay, sorry about that. My awesome neighbor Julio was knocking on the window. He and his wife made pork chops for us tonight. So
Oh, that's nice.
I have awesome
Yes, I was
neighbors.
telling dad jokes to find the time.
Dad jokes rock.
Yes, I just found out I'm colorblind. The news came out of the purple.
Ah, that's good. Uh,
My wife asked me the other day where I got so much candy. I said, I always have a few tricks up my sleeve.
huh. I realized yesterday I'm not funny in public anymore because I'm too old. A younger, very attractive woman in a workout outfit was buying a few random items and decided to use the, not the automated, not the self-checkout. So,
The regular line.
yeah, the cool cashier guy from New York with the thick Bronx accent, or is it, that's one giant jalapeno, or maybe he's from Brooklyn. I don't know. He's told me, like literally to my face, because we talked about him being from New York. And she goes, "Yeah, it's really big." And I, behind him, I go, "That'll make one hell of a popper." Okay, I'm gonna shut up. No.
See, I would tell the joke anyways and be unashamed.
I'm not ashamed. I was laughing at my head off inside my head, but they didn't find it funny at all, and I thought, how sad. And, oh, I guess I'm not funny anymore. So yeah. What are you going to do? Expound on the comedy, that's what! Yes. Comedy comes from behind bushes and rocks. Jumps out at you, much like terror.
Some truths about comedy.
Mm.
100% of all comedy is at somebody's expense,
Yes.
or maybe occasionally something, because you can laugh at things, but the comedy is all based on misfortune, or a lot of it is. We like to laugh when stupid things happen to other people, especially stupid things happening to stupid people. MTV has this show called Ridiculousness, and it's basically a half hour show of showing videos of people doing stupid shit and getting hurt. But the show throws a disclaimer up that they do not take user submitted content because they don't want people out there filming stupid
You don't want
videos
Jackass and Beavis and Butthead
trying to
happening
hurt
again.
themselves. Yeah, it's only they curate their own videos, and it runs almost 24/7 on MTV now.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
This is our entertainment.
Well, I mean, well. Lots of things have changed in the time that we've been alive. We've gone from vinyl to
Reel to 8-track to cassette to compact disc to vinyl.
MP3. Yeah, so back to vinyl. Which was kind of shocking to see it in Walmart now. Whoa! I remember going to stores with just these things for hours.
Yep, there's vinyl is coming back around as a nostalgia thing. And there's been companies in Germany that have been pressing, never stopped. Pretty much any new album you get out, you can get it on vinyl if you really want it.
Nice. I'll have to check that out. Well, I can't. I've got two turntables, but no microphone. No speakers either. So that's a problem. Not, trip to the pawn shop would solve this problem, but there's other pressing matters.
My lament is I have this great CD collection, and I don't have a CD player anymore. My computer doesn't even have a CD player tray on it.
Ooh. The vinyl, well, no, I've got most of the vinyl.
I've got a lot of my old vinyl.
I sold 85% of all my records. It was a huge collection. It took up. No. I'm not using it. And they didn't want the classical, the stuff that I figured would be worth the most, the Time Life, every composer collection. No, nobody wants it. So. Anyway. I don't care about culture anymore. Not to become that episode of the JLA with the Flash and the Ultra Humanite on Christmas, but yeah. Gather round, children. Where they want a farting duck and he reprograms it with his voice reading the Nutcracker. And the kids are instantly hypnotized. Okay.
So, where do we go from here?
They can? That's good to know, Lava Bean. Thank you. Do they play records?
I did not even think about that I have. So, I have consoles. I'm sure, like.
In and out the wazoo.
I do have older video games that probably would. The Xbox, my original Xbox, would play CDs. The cool thing about the original Xbox is certain games like Grand Theft Auto, you could upload a CD to the hard drive on your Xbox and then access that CD in-game and listen to it. I also have a Sega CD um, from way back in the early 90s, and it will play CDs. I do have a PS4.
You have quite the arsenal of video entertainment.
Oh my God. I have a Sega Genesis, a Sega
Everything.
Genesis with Sega CD. I have two Nintendos, a Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64, a Wii, an Xbox, a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3, an Xbox One S,
All that stuff went to
um,
Hannah. She got a
a,
big tub of video game.
a Nintendo DS handheld. Yeah, I've got a closet. Oh, I've got a Sega Dreamcast too.
Oh man! Welcome back to the 90s. Number 90 coming at you. Freight Train of Love.
But yeah, we got done with the consoles. We're not consoling anymore. We've gone back to just computers.
I prefer the computer. I've come full circle.
And for the longest time, I didn't even own a computer.
I don't think I could do that.
I was too poor.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that happens. Well, I mean, like, right now, that we're going to eke it out as long as we can, like the air conditioning unit. Positive vibes, folks. Thank you, dear viewers. Dear viewers, dear.
Is your computer becoming a potato?
The NVIDIA 750 letters has like two pieces, and there's a diamond gel. And I've had a couple different people and Paul take the thing apart, gel it, and put it back together. But this computer's over 20 years old. It's time to upgrade. I just don't have the wherewithal. So it'll have to do until...
Well, it's doing pretty good if it allows you to stream.
I have one of those... well, the box broke long ago. This is one of those, it can cool down a room! Yeah, if the room is the size of your cubicle at work. And then just the normal box fan, and that helps out considerably. I'm allowed to stream, actually for quite a long time, believe it or not, without it seizing. And if it seizes, I'll just restart it and start all over again like I do every time. Just wait for my camera to catch up. Oh,
There it goes. It'll get there.
I look better that way anyway. I'm all blurry. Cockeyed.
You're so drunk I can hardly see you.
I haven't been drunken since the last time I was drunk. When was that?
Oh, I haven't been drunk in a long time. I had to quit. Not because I wanted to, but
Well,
because I had to.
I had to quit because, well, I didn't have any money. But that's not good for you. So we're probably better off in the long run. And I've already got one major vice. Do I really need two? This is the whole reason I gave up cigarette smoking.
Coffee is my major vice.
Heat sinks,
probably
thank
drink-
you. Sorry.
I probably drink way more than I should.
I can drink a pot and a half in a 16-hour period. That's probably not healthy, but here's where we're at, kids.
I used to make a pot of coffee every day and drink it. Now I've got the pods, and I'll do, depending on the day at work, I'll get to work and I'll make my first cup of coffee. Then I'll have a second, and then I'll have a third maybe. And on nights when I'm streaming like this, I may mix in an energy drink or a fourth cup of coffee. But then I will sleep like shit tonight. And tomorrow me will be cursing out today me. That motherfucker.
Why did I do that? I've been up since 1:30, and I'm pretty tired, but I did put in 10 hours at work, so...
I tried to switch to decaf. Lava Being says switch to decaf. I tried. To me, it's like non-alcoholic beer. What's the point? If I can't have a beer and have it feel like a beer, then what's the point? To me, though, I think coffee is more of a psychological thing.
It's more a
I think
ritual.
if you gave me decaffeinated coffee but didn't tell me it was decaffeinated, I would probably be okay. But if I knew it was decaffeinated, my body would rebel.
Jeez, what are you mad at me? What?
But to me, the coffee isn't the vice part of it. It's the fact that I pour sweet sugary shit into my coffee when I
Oh,
drink it. And I'm addicted to the sweet sugary shit. But with very few exceptions, the coffee that I drink is the only sugar I take in. Well, tonight I had a Mexican soda pop
ay, 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 ay,
because
ay,
I,
ay.
I don't do that very often, but
Garritos.
they had Jarritos. They had guava flavored Jarritos.
Ooh.
It was tasty.
Horchata.
But
Horchata is super sugary. If you're a diabetic, you probably don't want to drink
I love horchata,
it.
but
Me
no,
too.
I stepped away from it. Like I said, the only sugar I take is in beverage form usually, and probably more than I should. And I
Yeah.
take a plethora of pills to keep my blood sugar controlled.
Mm.
An
I had
arsenal.
I had a soda for the first time in probably a month the other day.
Wasn't all that, was it?
Well, it didn't have booze in it, so it wasn't good. No, it was fine. But it was, yeah, it's kind of weird after not having it for a while.
Yeah, me, I don't like soda full strength. If I would drink a soda, I prefer it poured over ice so it dilutes a little bit.
Mm. The weirdest thing is, I was hanging out with my dad and Paul so much. Oh, it is. Sugarcane soda is very good.
That's why
That's the good
we're
stuff.
fortunate enough to live in a border state where we could get Mexican soda, Mexican Coke, Mexican
And
Pepsi,
Pepsi. It will rot your teeth.
Jarritos.
Jarritos.
I mean,
Horchata.
Mexican Sprite. You drink a Mexican Sprite, you can actually taste the separate lemon and lime
Yeah,
in the drink.
it's not
And
one
instead of
weird
the lemon that whatever
lemon.
lemon
Lemon.
is, no, you can actually taste the fruit flavors. And, you know, real
Lemon.
sugar Coca Cola, so tasty.
Mm. I
That's because they put phosphoric acid into soda with corn syrup to thin the corn syrup back out to a liquid consistency.
and it has that bitey, rough texture, and the
Yeah,
bubbles
it
are enough.
does. It's hard. Well,
I
I don't know. Some sodas have harder carbonation than others.
I would agree.
Like Coke. Coke is very hard carbonation, whereas Pepsi is very soft. To the point where Pepsi gets foamy in my stomach at times because
Ours,
the carbonation is so light.
and then it's weird because RC is like the improvement on both of them, but
But
can't just
RC is doesn't use real sugar, and you can taste the corn syrup
now,
cut
yeah,
through
but
that
back
one.
in the
Yes.
day. Well, I would say that I would agree with you to that extent because I started hanging out with Paul and my dad so much, and they were both diabetics, that you just start drinking diet soda because that's all they have at their house. And if I'm going to, I don't want them because if I buy regular soda, they're going to drink it.
I got used to drinking a lot of water. In fact, you come to my house, likely the only thing I'm going to have on hand is to drink is water. I
Yeah.
could make coffee, I could make tea,
But
have
water is,
soda in the fridge, very rarely.
yeah,
You know, occasionally I'll have energy drinks, but we buy those to take to work,
disgusting.
so I don't have to pay work prices for them.
Mm. I'm happy to have the free coffee. There's, I think, free soda at work. That's
They said we have free coffee, but the airline coffee is horrible. It basically it comes in a big sock. It's just I can't describe it. It's not good. There's a reason why if I've got a fly, I'll buy a Starbucks and pay $9 for it at the kiosk in the airport rather than drink that shit on the airplane.
Yeah. Are you ready to board? Yes.
What you got in the cup? 6 shots of espresso. Leave me alone.
I am the fuel for this plane.
But I remember when I was a kid, corn syrup was actually the bottle of syrup in your kitchen cabinet that you
Caro.
poured on your frickin' pancakes. Yes.
Or there was the clear version that Mom used for cooking.
No, that's the clear version is the only one I ever remember.
Oh, I
We
thought
bought
you
the
no,
clear
the dark
version.
one for pancakes.
Oh, we got the clear one, and you could eat it on pancakes too.
Oh, I'm sure you could. Well, you can cook with it. I mean, it's corn syrup.
But yeah, my mom only bought the one, and she'd cook with it, and we'd eat it on pancakes.
The hardest lesson of truth you learn when you're very little. Crisco has a picture of a Cool Whip topping on the cover, but that shit in the can does not taste like Cool Whip topping.
No.
No, it does not. The cake is a lie, and that's what kids in the 70s learned.
Pie is the truth.
The cake is a lie. And the topping is not in the can. You make it. You have to make it. You need egg whites and a bunch of sugar. A bunch of sugar. Or corn syrup.
Yes, I remember. I remember my mom making frosting. Remember, she'd take frosting and she'd make sandwich cookies for us. Make chocolate frosting and then put it between graham crackers.
Nice. That sounds good.
It was. Probably contributed to why I'm diabetic now.
There was love in those crackers. We didn't know. Hell, we thought smoking was good for you a while back. Till everybody started dropping dead.
Yeah, back in the 50s, it was marketed as a health product.
Nicotine is a
Now,
stimulant,
Yeah.
and tobacco aids in digestion.
yeah, I'll take your word for that.
Cigars keep me out of the newspaper.
There you go. And prison. We don't want you in prison.
Cigars
Yes.
Yeah.
So I tell people if it wasn't for coffee, I'd have to hide a lot more bodies.
Exactly.
Coffee helps with the words into sentences putting.
Only drawback about the job I have now is no food or drink on the factory floor. Which makes sense. I gotta wear a static smock. I gotta have fucking latex gloves on so my hands are sweating all day.
You probably stand on a grounded static pad. You have
There's,
to ground the things that you're working with.
I have to
We
do
have
it
to
with
deal with that at work.
yeah, with the smock. Just rub it on there.
I found out that pretty much everything ever carries a static charge. Everything does. And most of the static charges, when two things touch, are so low that you cannot feel the transfer of electrons. However, sensitive electronic equipment, such as the avionics on board an aircraft, can feel it. And a static transfer small enough that you won't notice it will destroy a $700,000 piece of equipment. So we've got special caps and special bags and special workstations we have to work at. When we take them out, it's very serious.
Yep. When I first learned working on PCs and computer systems, we always had to wear the static straps, and you had to have the static mat on the workbench, because you could really wreak havoc with some of the early memory systems. You could You could destroy hard drives, and it's interesting.
Mm.
Body create low voltage as we ran the
Oh,
all of
yeah.
our equipment. It's like, oh, that's good. That's wearing gloves.
I remember we had synthetic shag carpet growing up as a kid, and every Christmas I'd get a pair of house slippers that had the vinyl bottoms on it, and you could cruise around and build up quite a charge. I remember one night I'm feeling particularly malicious, and of course we had swamp cooling in the house, which exacerbates the static
Statically,
electricity.
yeah.
And so
Lightning in a
I
bottle.
scooted around the living room and dining room for like 10 minutes building up a charge.
Oh, man.
And my brother was sleeping on the couch, and it was dark in the living room. The arc lit up the room. He was so mad.
Wouldn't
There
you
was a red
be?
spot on the end of his nose. It's like,
No! Oh, that went through my tear ducts.
you fucker!
I felt that.
I
All of
remember
it.
learning about that as a kid. First time I learned about it, similar situation. We had all of those. Every lamp in the house had the steel base and all of the rest of that. So and you go to turn on the lamp, you're like, ah! My father just sat there laughing, almost fell off the couch. He was like, "Don't you know what happened?" No, what happened?
Back of the hand. Back of the hand.
Oh, yes. I
That is
used to
too
do all
funny.
kinds of delinquent things to fuck with my brother. One of my favorite things, you take a cap full of gasoline
Uh-oh.
and you pour it on the ground, on the dirt. And of course, there's this little wet spot. Well, you touch a match to it and it'll light up. And then you stomp it out. All of a sudden, it looks like regular dirt. So you get your brother out there and you get him standing next to you and you say, "Hey, watch this." And you thumb a match into the dirt and it bursts into flames. Another
Yeah.
one, and oh, this is my favorite. Bic lighter. When your Bic lighter runs out of fluid, you can pull the flint and the spring out, stretch the spring out, wrap it around the flint, and then use another lighter to heat the flint up to where it's white hot. Then you take that white hot flint and you throw it down on the concrete as hard as you can, and it makes the most wonderful explosion of sparks.
Early science experiments.
Oh, yeah. I was a science motherfucker.
Sounds like it.
Burning
Those are good
things with
times.
magnifying glasses. Made my own napalm.
Really?
Yeah, you take styrofoam and you put it in paint thinner. It makes it kind of goopy, and it burns.
Huh.
Doesn't smell very good. Because paint thinner is mineral spirits, and that shit's extremely toxic.
Oh, yeah, it does.
That and Tide and gasoline was the other one. We learned.
Tide and gasoline. I never did that. I had a mini bike, so I didn't waste my gasoline on science. Not very often.
There was distance to be had.
There were hills to go stomp.
Hmm.
Yes. So
Animals to terrorize.
See, that was the thing. Growing up at the ranch, you go up to the ranch, and there was always old gas that you couldn't put into the equipment
Oh,
because
no.
it had been sitting too long, or there was gas that had been sitting in an old mower that, okay, well, we got to clean out the tank, and we're going to, okay, so what are we going to do with the gas? And Grandpa said, well, let me show you what we can do with the gas.
Watch this.
Now, don't tell your mother that I showed you this. No, sir, I never learned anything.
I never learned anything about no explosives.
oh no.
Blowing up
All
stuff.
the things I blew up with firecrackers.
Mm.
See, because we'd get the strips of black cats, and you can unwind them into individual firecrackers. Yes, a string of 100 black cats is 100 little red firecrackers. When you unwind there's basically a lace fuse that laces them all together, and if you unravel that lace fuse, you have a bag of firecrackers. And me and my brother used to do things like airbursts. Come up behind somebody, you light a firecracker, You let it burn down a little bit, then you throw it up in the air so that as it comes down, it bursts in the air. And you try to get it to explode as close to your brother's head as possible. Because we
Might
were
be why
assholes
he's
like
deaf
that.
now.
I remember getting a spanking from my grandma because I remember my cousin Becky, we had firecrackers, and of course for kids, we're out playing with firecrackers completely unsupervised. And I convinced my cousin Becky to hold on to a bottle rocket while it burns all the way down. Then it exploded in her fingers and gave her blood blisters, so she went crying to grandma that I told her to do this. And yeah, I got a spanking for that. I deserved it. But it was funny.
It sounds like it was funny. I bet she made the best faces.
And then me and my brother used to take pieces of electrical conduit, and you put the bottle rocket in the back and you light it, and you can shoot it at people like a rocket launcher.
Ron made a couple potato cannons. I'm not going to admit to any more.
We had a cannon that we took to the SCA, and it was an actual little cannon barrel, and it was, I think it was originally a decorative one, and the guy honed out the barrel, drilled a hole in one end of it, and put a little electric, grill starter clicker, a little spark thing, and we used to spray a whole bunch of hairspray down into the tube, shove a tennis ball all the way down there, and hit that clicker.
Boom.
It'd shoot a tennis ball 150 yards.
I believe you.
When we were in the Army, we made a similar thing. You take 3 tennis ball cans, you get some, what the Army called 100-mile-an-hour tape, which is basically Army green duct tape. You cut the bottoms out of the two of the tennis ball cans. That's what they called it. I don't know why. But you tape all 3 of the cans together. You cut the bottoms out of 2 of them, so you create this big, long tube. And then at the bottom of the 3rd can, you pop a bunch of holes for ventilation. Then you push a tennis ball all the way down into the bottom of it, and you hold it like a rocket launcher while somebody squirts lighter fluid into those holes and then lights it on fire. I've never seen a tennis ball travel so far, so fast on fire. You know the metal fire doors that you see at schools and other institutional places? The metal door that has the little window with the wire mesh screen? Yeah, we shot it at one of those. We popped the inner frame off of that window on one of the barracks doors. This would have killed somebody if it had hit them.
Would have killed somebody. Johnson, get over here.
Catch this.
Run that way.
This is
okay, load me up.
Stupid shit GIs got into,
No, really?
Yeah. I can tell you, alcohol was involved.
I'm not going to lie when I say drugs and or alcohol were possibly involved.
I remember, dry ice bombs. Back in the late 80s,
it was a craze.
20-ounce Pepsi used to come in a glass bottle. Hell, there weren't 2-liter sodas back then yet either. There was the 1-quart glass Coke bottles. Well, they made great dry ice bombs. Very dangerous.
Very dangerous. Loud.
We made a few. Yes, we made a few. But I learned about the glass Pepsi bottle when I had a roommate who wasn't very bright. And he had got up in the morning and he had left one of those 20-ounce Pepsis on the counter all night. And so it was warm. So what does he do? He sticks it in the freezer for a few minutes to cool it down before he goes to work, and he forgets it. Comes home from work, cracks that Pepsi, and the bottle explodes in his hand and nearly takes his thumb off. He's out of work for 3 months. Now Pepsi comes in a plastic bottle.
Much safer. for everybody, especially your ex-roommate. Yeah, explosives
Remember,
are...
did you ever meet Paul's buddy Mitch? Tall, skinny.
Probably.
He was the early D&D game that I ran for Paul, and then Mitch was one of the players in it. But it was Mitch's brother, because Paul was my other roommate when that happened.
Oh, okay.
That happened at Paul's house over on 31st. The one he bought from his aunt.
Long ago.
Yes. We had some good times and bad times in that house.
Good times, bad times. Yeah, explosives are dangerous, kids. Use your best judgment.
So what are some of the stupid things you did as a kid? I'm sure the statute of limitations is expired by now.
We had the tennis ball cannon. Gasoline and Vaseline mixed together creates kind of a napalm, but I wouldn't know anything about that. I did all the dumb, stupid kid stuff that you do, you know.
Jumping bicycles.
Yeah. All the.
I remember probably one of the best and worst things that happened to me as a kid is my dad bought me a Daisy Powerline pump BB gun. This was one of those guns that the more you pump it, the more powerful.
Yeah. My brother pumped this 400 times. Oh, God.
Well, no, it said don't pump it up more than 5. We could get 20. And at 20, this was not just a BB gun. It also shot the 7mm pellets that looked like the little lead mushrooms.
Oh, my, yeah.
So, yeah, you could actually hunt with it. We were out in the front yard one day, me and my next door neighbor, and, you know, we had these 2 really tall palm trees in our yard.
Uh-oh.
And we're out there messing around, and pigeons lived in the palm trees, and one of the pigeons decided to let one loose, and it dropped and it hit my buddy right on his shoulder. And so I started laughing at him and giving him shit, and the pigeon let another one go. It hit me. I was like, oh, hell to the no. So I went in and I got my Daisy Powerline pump and pumped it up 20 times, and I shot that fucker. I caught it right on the pinion of its wing.
Ow.
Because that wing mostly came off. And of course, the now probably dying bird decided to try to fly with one wing. That didn't work out. It went into a death spiral across the street into Mr. Campbell's yard. Mr. Campbell's yard looks like he, you know, manicured it with fingernail clippers. It was that pristine. White fountains, perfect rose beds, perfectly trimmed hedges and everything, little brick circles around the trees, and here's this pigeon flopping and bleeding and spewing feathers everywhere all over his yard. He came and complained to my mom. I got a whooping. I deserved it. But fuck that pigeon.
Yeah.
That's right, because fuck that pigeon, that's why.
Screw that particular pigeon. Meanwhile, the guy's like, what the hell? Why is there a pigeon sacrifice on my lawn? It's them devil-worshipping kids in that new rock and roll. Poor Mr. Campbell.
That was back when that was like 1977, 78. And I remember that my favorite jam on the radio was the disco version of the Star Wars theme.
Go figure.
Yes, I think I still have that 45 around somewhere. That and Close Encounters of the Third Kind also made a disco record.
Yeah. Disco Duck. Everything was disco back in. Excuse me. Everything was disco. Disco is not death. Disco is life. Yes, Tony, this is a passion.
It's not disco, it's electro.
Whatever you want it to be.
You know what movie that was from, right?
No.
Shaun of the Dead, when they're out there throwing their records at zombies.
That's
and
okay.
somebody
Shame on
somebody
me for not
busts
knowing
them for
that.
throwing their disco records. It's not disco, it's electro.
Pete, oi, prick.
Oh, and there's an outtakes from Shaun of the Dead called Funky Peter. There's a scene where Peter comes out and he's just ripping Shaun with fucking fucking. Well, they did the same scene, except he didn't use the word fuck at all. He used the word funk for the whole scene. And it really changes the scene. And that scene in The Extras is called Funky Peter.
Let's check it out. Was it?
Yes, there are some really good gems in the extras of DVDs. My favorite is the 2 DVD set deluxe that came with The Incredibles. The extra disc had outtakes and a lot of extra stuff. But the best thing it had was Mr. Incredible and Friends and Mr. Incredible and Friends with commentary. Mr. Incredible and Friends was a really badly animated short that was supposedly something that Mr. Incredible had licensed. And the animation was really bad. You see the ship coming down a river, and when it's going to hit something, it slides sideways so that it can continue to go down the river. And instead of animating their mouths, there's a cutout on each of the people with
It's
somebody's
just their
actual
lips.
mouth talking.
Like
and
Clutch
yes,
Cargo.
and it was bad, but what made it really good was Mr. Incredible and Friends with commentary is Craig Nelson and Samuel L. Jackson sitting there ripping on this really bad cartoon. And it is hilarious.
That's too funny. I love Abounding, which is the short with the jackalope and the sheep that gets sheared. And the fact that, was it Buck Owens? No, Buck Henry. No.
Buck Henry. The writer,
Yeah.
the guy that wrote Get Smart and appeared on did a lot of Saturday Night Live stuff too.
No, it's not that. Fuck. Anyway, he did the animations in Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and other stuff like that.
They all had fun
at the Ladybug's Picnic. He's also the voice of the agent in The Incredible. We can't keep doing this, Bob. I can't keep relocating your family. We're very happy what you did in the past, but, well, God damn it. What's his name?
Oh, God, that looked like Richard Nixon.
He kind of does look like Richard Nixon, doesn't he?
The character looked like Richard Nixon.
But, yeah, it's the jackalope. Jeez, was it really 2004? So long.
Incredibles? Yeah. And it's still my favorite movie of all time.
Bud Lucky is the man's name. Rick Dicker is the character in The Incredibles. We can't keep doing this, but the government agent.
Pa! They're penetrating the bureaucracy!
What about our clients? Who's protecting their interests? Wallace Shawn is amazing. I'm surprised Gilbert Huff didn't become a supervillain. Because they wiped his... Yeah. They wiped his mind, obviously, but nah.
No, that movie hit all of the superhero tropes. All of them.
Yeah. The
second one didn't live up to the first one. It was good, but I'm hoping there will be a third one. Maybe after they film Toy Story 23, they'll do a third Incredibles movie.
Maybe you're right, 23. Dumb and Dumber 8. this fall in theaters.
I want to see the story where Andy's toys meet Andy's mom's toys, and they have the same names, Woody and Buzz.
I don't know if I want to see that.
That's more Saturday evening, not Saturday morning.
The saddest part of Disney is there's so many stories out there that you guys could just pay for the licensing and do, but you think you're going to make money on rehashing something that you've already put out years ago.
I'd seen 2 of the live action remakes, and I can say that I was not impressed with either one. I saw Beauty and the Beast, the live action remake, and I saw the Lion King live action remake, and that was absolutely pointless. It didn't add anything to the first one, and it wasn't as good. In my opinion, at least.
I haven't
I
seen
don't
it.
know if you've seen it.
Don't want to.
And I have no interest in seeing the other ones. What do we got? Cinderella now, and Moana, and Aladdin, and you had some great movies in the 80s and 90s, Disney. Don't fuck it up.
Mulan
Do something new.
Yeah.
Mulan. That's the third one. I've seen the remake of Mulan.
I think this started early when they had what's-his-name be Mowgli.
Oh, yes.
Tony
we saw
Jai.
that, too. Yeah.
But it's like, that one's a little different because they're animals, and the Jungle Book movie from Disney is done more like a musical than it is a serious,
Yeah,
he's an actual danger. Yeah.
If I remember right, the Jungle Book, the book, wasn't a novel. It was a series of short stories, wasn't it? Rudyard Kipling, right?
Kipling.
That's why it was a Jungle Book, was a series of stories, because if I remember right, Rikki Tikki Tavi was a Jungle Book story.
He's part of that universe.
Yes.
The
I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong.
To save his family.
Yes.
So many live action. I mean, you can. I know there's a live action remake out there that's good that we're just not mentioning, but that's a minority. I agree with you that some of them they're just terrible.
No, Mulan is my favorite animated Disney movie.
It's a fun
and
movie.
Yes, I know it's not very accurate, but it's got some amazing animated scenes. The animated scene where the Hun army is riding down the snowy hill. Go watch that. That is an amazing piece of animation.
Let's get
Just
down
thinking about
to
it is giving me
business.
Just thinking about it is giving me goosebumps.
It was a good, fun movie. I'll get that arrow and I'll do it with my
Dishonor! Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
On your cow. I mentioned that I'm the Great Stone Dragon. Great Stone Dragon, are you awake? Yes, I just woke up.
Yes,
There's a lot
that
of
movie wasn't going to be called Mulan originally.
No?
It was going to be called Ping. But the Karsten Group, which owns the trademark for Ping golf clubs,
oh, here we go.
Disney was reminded that Ping already exists as a trademark, and so they voluntarily changed the name of their movie before there was any litigation.
Easier.
Disney is one. Yeah, it is. But Disney is one of those that rabidly defends their trademarks when and where they can. So I think they saw respect when, all right, no, the story of Ping has been around for hundreds of years, but, they've been selling Ping golf clubs since the 60s. I think they've got priors on it. Lava Being, I agree. Speed Racer The live action Speed Racer is a freaking amazing movie. It's
Okay.
a Wachowski siblings movie, and if you've not seen it, it did horribly in the theaters.
But it was a great movie.
Oh my God, the racing scenes alone were worth the money. They were amazing.
It was that. Thank you for mentioning that one, because that was very well done. The Alvin and the Chipmunks was cute with Jason Lee, or the Smurfs one with what's his name?
Haven't seen those.
I mean,
saw
they're
the
older.
live action. Saw Masters of the Universe a few weeks back.
You said that was funny.
Excellent movie. And I don't know what's up with the box office lately. There are a lot of really good movies that are just tanking at the box office. He-Man was a spectacular movie. Was it last year or the year before last? The Dungeons and Dragons movie, Honor Among Thieves, spectacular movie. Oh my God!
Yeah, it is. Is it back in theaters?
No, I'm just saying that it bombed at the box office.
Yeah, there
I
was.
think a lot of that though
there.
is at the time, Wizards of the Coast had just started screwing around with their SRD stuff and making a lot of outrageous claims and really alienated a lot of people.
Mm.
And so I think a lot of people boycotted that movie to boycott Hasbro, which is kind of sad.
Alienating everybody. I'm trying to think of another one. Popeye with Robin Williams. That was a really good live action to Popeye. I don't think there's been a Popeye movie since.
Yes, there hasn't, and I don't think he really liked that movie. He didn't care for it himself. It was not one of his favorite movies.
Williams?
Yes, but it had Ray Walston in it.
The filming was kind of arduous from reading up on it and watching videos on YouTube.
The Scooby-Doo movies. I've seen the first Scooby-Doo movie, and the only complaint I had about the first Scooby-Doo movie is Velma should not be hotter than Daphne. And in the first Scooby-Doo movie, she was way hotter than Daphne.
Yeah, Linda was... I mean, Sarah Michelle Gellar is hot, don't get me wrong, but that's not fair to compare apples to oranges. They're both delicious. Delicious, Velma. Yeah, because Velma's hot in her own way, and Daphne is just the drop-dead gorgeous redhead who's constantly getting tied up. Oh, no! Anyway. So, yeah. Thank you for joining us for episode 79. We started out talking about Lurch and Herman Munster and who's stronger. Because they probably wouldn't fight. Honestly, Wednesday would put on music and they would both start dancing. Because they're those kind of guys. They just love music.
Yes, Herman Munster did not have a violent bone in his body. I think there were times when people tried to get violent with him and he was just too dumb to realize it and too tough to be hurt.
Lurch is... Everything is... over, with Lurch this way. He's just the height of suffering all the time, but he doesn't complain.
No, but I think on a dark side, if Gomez said, Lurch, twist his head off, Lurch would do it without blinking. But Gomez isn't the kind of... It's not... Gomez isn't a dark person. I mean...
Not really.
Yeah, no, the trappings might be dark, but I would much rather live next to them than a whole lot of other sitcom families.
I like to think of Lurch as the ultimate Papa Bear for the kids. If anything was to ever happen or to put those kids in danger, whatever was causing the danger would not survive Lurch's protective instinct. And that was always hinted at throughout all of the programs. Lurch was always there to take care of those children. Let them do their business with each other. anything came about that was going to present a problem for those children, no,
Exterior.
that wasn't going to pass.
I would agree, because I did see part of an episode of an animated Wednesday Addams Family thing where she runs away and Lurch follows her. And these kids hassle her, and she uses Lurch to attack the children like a flesh golem. Get rid of them! And he's like, ugh! And they're like, ah! Because he's fucking 7 feet tall and terrifying. They're not gonna hang around with him. So yeah, I think that you're right on that one, that Lurch would do as he was told and probably wouldn't give it much thought. He would just suffer through it. He's like a controllable Solomon Grundy.
Yeah.
If he is a zombie. Or is he a flesh golem? But then again, that's kind of being a zombie.
I'm not sure what he is.
Me neither.
But then that's what the charm of the Addams Family is. You weren't really sure.
Yeah, and you don't have to know. You just accept. This is weird. Okay. They're creepy and they're kooky. They're all together and mysterious and spooky. Yeah.
The house is a museum. And people come to see him. They always are a scream. Yeah.
They got a hand in a
Neat.
box.
Petite.
Discreet. They got a hand in a box that does dictation. Things aren't right in that home. There's some people under the stairs shit going on in there.
It was the Munsters that had the dragon that lived under the stairs, right?
Spot! Yes.
Every once in a while, they raised up the stairs and this gout of flame would come out. And that's
Yeah.
all you ever saw of Spot.
And then in the Munsters movie on Netflix, they give you the origin of Spot. They meet, and of course, Grandpa hates Herman, and they get married and they go on honeymoon and they go to Paris, and they have, the monster newspapers. Oh, there's a monster in the sewer that's eating people in Paris. Oh, Herman, how romantic. Let's go down and visit him. So Herman ends up, he's jumping all over me, because Spot he's like a dragon without wings. And they end up keeping him and taking like a lost dog in the sewer. And he's there, there's one part where they're lying in bed and she's petting Spot and he's asleep and like smoke's coming out of his nose and she's like reading to Herman. I can't remember what they were. I think they were talking about moving to America from the old country, and so they like find Spot in France and bring him back to Transylvania before they come to America. That's the history of Spot. So you don't have to watch it. There you go. I just finished it for you.
Now, that was the Rob Zombie movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I have not seen it, but I need to.
It's campy, goofy, and over the top.
As it should be.
It's like watching Airplane or, a Naked Gun movie. Elvira is a realtor. Cassandra Peterson, she's not Elvira. She's not dressed as Elvira. Because that's the funniest part of the movie, is they arrive in America on Halloween, but they don't know what Halloween is. So they think America's filled with monsters, but it's more social than the old country. And then they get up the next day on All Saints Day and everything's normal, and the three of them just stand there screaming because they're like, wow, good morning. Ah! Best part of the movie.
No, I'm definitely going to have to see it.
Other than that, it's very, it's filled with dad jokes for 2 hours. It's brilliant. Everybody hated it. I loved it.
I love dad jokes. I like a lot
You're
of
gonna like
movies
it.
that weren't really well received.
Yeah. And, that's why. What do you think's a really funny movie? Don't ask me that. I think the dumbest movies are funny, like Whoopee Boys and Three Amigos and other.
No, we don't see Fluffy.
We don't see Fluffy anywhere. You want to talk have big juicy hind leg? Paul Rodriguez is great. I was just thinking of AKA Pablo the other yesterday.
Wasn't Marsha Warfield in that movie as well?
Yes.
She was, because she was part of the etiquette class they had to go to.
She was a police officer that got suspended for. Because you see her later in the movie and she's a cop again and she's beating up this guy and she's like, yeah, and yes, it's your right to. Oh, I love my job. Ah! Because that was before she was on Night Court.
Yes, it was. I remember he's like, she said something and Paul Rodriguez says, well, maybe your problem is you haven't been fucked with.
And doesn't she like grab him and beat him up at one point? Or one of the funniest movies that's really stupid is like the detective school dropouts.
I haven't seen that.
It's really dumb. But the one guy is bored and the other guy is a con man and he convinces him that he's an ace detective and they go on an adventure that turns out to be real by accident and they almost get killed a bunch of times. And then it's bad. Tag the assassination game. It's along that level. Like Super Fuzz and what's the one with Scott Baio where he gets superpowers?
I don't remember.
Zapped.
I never saw it.
I think it's Zapped. Zapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's High School USA and all those other dumb 80s movies that had actors in them that would later be big names, but back then they were nobody.
They were working for scale.
Yeah. I love Whoopee Boys. It's really funny. Honest, man, I didn't know she was your sister. Polish archery lesson.
Yes, that and I laugh at Cheech and Chong movies. But one of the ones that really cracks me up from some of the jokes in it was Things Are Tough All Over. The one where they get hired to drive this car out to California. And of course, the car is loaded with drugs. And of course, they play themselves. They also play a pair of Middle Eastern brothers who are the ones that hired them. Yes. My brother, he has herpes.
And then
of course, he's talking about a wig. Herpes.
Herpes. And then there's Chet. Cheech plays his cousin. You seen Cheech? He's still wearing them little hats? Holy sheep shit. We used to imitate him all the time, huh?
The good old days.
This would be like if Cheech was a Texan. He would be that character. Oh, hey. Mr. Wiggles.
Well,
buddy?
gentlemen,
Oh.
it has reached pumpkin hour, and I have that evil job tomorrow. So
Yeah.
you have the evil job tomorrow. How you doing 10-hour shifts now?
Yes.
So you got to be there. If you get off at 4:30, you start at what? 6 a.m. Yep, same as me.
Yeah.
I got to start at 6. I'm up at 4 because I'm one of those people. I got to be fully awake before I stumble out of the house for work.
Well, the evap will make a grumbling, grinding noise when it starts to run low on water, and that'll wake you out of a sound sleep. So
Oh,
my whole summer
Well-
has been living in that little room in the show Lost where they have to wake up every so many minutes and then put in the code or the fucking whatever goes off. The island explodes. Yeah, I can relate to that now. I hear in my sleep. It's almost the sound from the alien probe droid from Empire Strikes Back on Hoth. But it's not that quite because it's not like music or code. It's just A pump running low on water, yeah. It's a grumbly grinding noise.
Yeah, no, I don't get a good night's sleep. My bladder makes sure of that.
Oh, there's that
About
too.
every 2 hours or so. Hey,
Dude,
what are you doing?
we're gonna
You gotta
have
go.
we're gonna have a dream that you can't find a bathroom. Oh, I better wake up.
No, with me, it's like if I don't get up when I first gotta pee, I'll wake up 20 minutes later with a pee hard on that won't go down.
And then you have to practice male yoga in order
Yes, you
to
have
pee
to
in the.
stand on your head to pee. It's no.
Thanks, God. I appreciate this every other morning. Almost every morning. What are you always playing with the cat?
Anyways,
Yes.
you could have watched anybody. So why were you watching us?
Yeah.
But thank you for doing that. I have been Jingo the Fool, and you can catch me around on every other Sunday night. You can catch me over on the Real Women of Gaming channel. We're running Deadlands, and sometimes on Thursday nights on his channel, you can catch me running Savage World.
Savage
Also,
World. 55.
I play in a Friday night stream game that will be wrapping up in about another month, and I will be stepping into the Game Master spot on that stream. So in about another month and a half, I'll have a Friday night stream.
Nice. Well done. Thank you for watching episode 79. I'm glad you could make it with us. Check out Body and Soul Candles. We are now at the end of July. Last Tesla shirt. And, never too late, never too early to get your order in with Lauren for Body and Soul Candles. Check her website out, everything. I'll have to put a link in there. I keep forgetting to do that. That's on me. I know it's in our main... No, it's in our main thing. Thank you again, Ed, for coming to my house and putting water in the... There's 3 evaps, so... Humidity! Eric Marsh.
Eric Marsh Foundation, if you have the opportunity and you can give them a little bit of a donation to help them out. They help out those families of fallen wildland firefighters and those who have been seriously injured. We lost a 4th recently from the Colorado fires. He finally succumbed to the injuries from that flameover, and so that's the most current one. So if you can, check them out online. Eric Marsh Foundation. They've got all kinds of swag. That the money from that goes to help cover these costs. And if you're in the Phoenix area or in Arizona, and you can help out with the St. Mary's Food Bank. People are in need. St. Mary's helps people all over the state of Arizona. And if you're not in Arizona, check your local food banks. They can use anything. If you can just give a little bit of time. If you don't have any money, but you can spare an hour or two to help them out, they will be more than grateful.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Well, this has been the Supreme Council of the Master Geeks Lodge meeting number 79. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, folks.
Have a good night. Tune in Thursday. Gentlemen, always a pleasure and an honor. See you in the future.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you.
Okay,